I know.
All right, this is John and Out with JCX Fishing. Tonight's special guest is Stephen Martins from Martin Custom Baits LLC. He's one of my favorite bait makers, Spinnerbait. There is, because I can call him up and just ask him something, and he can put it to work, send me a picture, and get it out to me. So, welcome, Steve.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for being with us.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. No, I really look forward to this. So
good. So let's start out talking a bit about your history, and then we'll get into the fishing aspect of it, if you don't mind.
Yeah. All right. So for me, as far as basically going back, I mean, I've been a pretty avid bass fisherman my whole life. I've always been big on doing whatever tournaments I could, as a co-angler, then as a boater, and a little bit of everything. And I was kind of always intrigued by making my own fishing lures. I mean, I made my first fishing lure, I think I was 10 years old, just trying to put stuff together. And so it kind of inspired me over the years to keep going with it. And then finally, I just decided to make the move and open my own business doing it. And here we are today,
Nice.
So do you still have that bait that you first made when you were 10?
I wish I still had it. It was my 10-year-old version of a spinnerbait. It was epic. I wish I still had it.
Oh my god, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I think it consisted of an old jig head, like something I would use for crappie fishing, with a split ring and a willow blade on it, and Lord knows how it ever stayed on my line. But so that was where it kind of all got kicked off. And another good friend of mine, if he's actually on my About page on my website, he owned a business called Toad's Tackle Shack, and he built and designed a lot of his own lures for a long time. He was really, really talented, and he used to make stuff for me personally, and I used to love watching him do it. And that just kind of helped fuel the fire for me to eventually get into this. And I did this so much for a hobby on the side for years, and for some buddies of mine that would have me build stuff for them, and just with generic parts and materials that I could get my hands on. And everything kind of spiraled into where I am now.
Okay, excellent. Now, I've gotten to know you a little bit, and you actually don't go to a website, buy your parts, and put them together. It's not like a model. You actually designed your stuff, correct?
Yeah, so everything that I have is my own design. The current spinnerbaits I have right now, they're actually a manufacturer's head, and a lot of other tackle companies have that same head, but they're my paint scheme, my wire design on them, all the finishing touches. So that was the only product. Honestly, the whole reason behind that was because of the COVID shutdown. I wasn't able to get my design spinnerbait in on time, and I had to have something. So I put that together. And they're really awesome spinnerbaits. A lot of companies sell the same similar type in their own configuration with them. And then, my Buzzbaits, my finesse jigs, the swim jigs, the Underspin, pretty much everything else you see, that's 110% soup to nuts what we designed. Or I, put all the little touches into them.
Oh, nice. Cool. All right. I didn't know that. That's cool.
That literally all started with pencil and paper, everything on there.
I love it.
So, yeah, it worked pencil to paper to 3D imaging to prototyping and casting and all that. And I'm very excited about it. It's taken me a long time, but, like everybody else, every business has had their struggles with the, COVID-19, pandemic. So we're fortunate to be moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely a struggle these days.
Yeah. Seriously. Like, this is where I wanted to be a year ago, but obviously we all have to deal with what's at hand. So
yeah.
I just want to say hi to everybody who's listening, and let them know that don't be afraid to ask questions. if you have any questions about his baits or why he designs it the way he does, go ahead and shoot it, and we'll get those questions answered for you.
Awesome.
So,
Or drop us a line and just say hi. Yeah.
exactly. Just let us know you're there and pay attention and know what's going on.
Hint to Russell.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Russell James, you better get your butt on here.
Or you'll have no cookies and no baits.
I can tag him. We're friends now.
Oh my goodness! Don't even mention cookies right now. That'll change the topic for me immediately.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, they're small. They're about the size of my head.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Should we
One
hold
of
up
the
your
days.
cookie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
But
I gotta.
hello, everyone. Chris, Kevin. I'm glad you made it.
I had to tag Russell James first. Somebody's spreading bigger.
Yeah. Well, she's getting a cookie for you. So when she says she makes a cookie, it's
Oh no! Now you're
I
gonna
don't
just.
have small. My hands aren't small, but I mean,
That's like a basketball. That's awesome.
yeah.
yeah.
It's
It about covers my face.
It's thick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. There you go. I don't know, John. If I was you, man, I wouldn't be able to get up out of the chair.
I have a 3-year-old daughter that makes sure I get up and run around.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, because what she'll do is she'll bake cookies, to sell.
Right.
And then if someone orders a dozen, well, that leaves a dozen here or 6 here or whatever.
Right.
I try to sell the leftovers, but it doesn't always work out, especially if they're sugar cookie ones. So,
Oh, there you go. That's fun.
Yeah. But,
Very nice.
yeah.
all right, so let's get back into the fishing aspect of it. So
Okay, fine.
you're you're an avid fisherman as well. So it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just like I wanted to make a bait and try to sell some.
No. This is all based off of experience.
Okay,
Very cool.
nice. Do you want to give us a little bit of experience that you have?
So, as far as like what I fished and kind of what organizations and stuff like that.
Correct.
So starting out a number of years ago, I started fishing at the club level because I had been fishing with friends who had bass boats for a long time and kind of trying to learn. When you're a younger guy and you're fishing from shore and then you get out on a bass boat, it's two totally different worlds. So I learned a lot with friends, and then that got me into looking for local clubs to join. And I joined as a co-angler for like the first year or first half of the year. And then I got my own boat and kind of slowly fell into it at the club level. And I did that for a while. And then I went into the federation level for the TBF of Connecticut, just to kind of see what I could do there. And it was kind of cool. I got to fish the federation at 2 different levels. I fished as an angler and a co-angler. I had a good time with it. Connecticut TBF does a good job. I mean, all of TBF does. They put on some really good tournaments, and their semifinals and then the nationals are, they're a lot of fun. And so I got to go to, as a 2017, I qualified through the regional, and I got to go to Table Rock for nationals. And then I won the Eastern Division title there, and I competed through that, and I qualified for the BFL All-American, and I got to fish in that also.
Nice.
So that was a really good year for me. I had a lot of fun, and it was a good time. So I got to fish a lot of different places other than just Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. So is there a lot of places to fish in Connecticut for you? I mean, I know you don't have like Thousand Islands and stuff like that, but
no. So I mean, if you talk to any of us local guys, we sound miserable about fishing in Connecticut. Everybody you talk to, it's like, I'm fishing in Connecticut. But we have good fisheries. They're not all big. I think the biggest lake we have is like 5,100 acres, so it's not that big. We have a couple other bodies of water that are like around 1,000 acres to 1,500 acres, and so there are a lot of smaller size lakes. They're good fisheries and stuff. The pressure really gets to it here. That's the biggest thing, the amount of fishermen to the amount of in comparison to the size of the bodies of water we have. So it gets difficult from time to time. but it's good. I mean, there's a lot of big fish here. You just have to pick and choose your times when you want to go and where. And we also have the Connecticut River, which is a tidal river. It's got huge tide swings, and that's always a challenge. But it's really rewarding because you can catch a lot of numbers there from time to time.
Okay. Excellent. You want to ask your one question that you always ask?
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite cookie?
Oh, my favorite cookie?
Yeah.
It's chocolate. My favorite cookie in the world is chocolate chip, but it's got to be well done, like brown. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
okay.
if you almost burnt it, so it's hard. I don't like them mushy. And it's preferably with dark chocolate chips. That's my favorite one.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yep.
Dark chocolate.
It's kind of an odd one, but yeah, that's my favorite cookie. But
So if I ever burn a batch, I'll just send them to you.
yeah, don't throw them out. If you burn them, send them. That's the best.
So what we'll do is we'll send her away while she's baking them, and I'll take care of it.
That's funny. Yeah, sure.
My dad calls those burnt ones dunkers. He goes, they're fine. You just have to dunk them in coffee. That's all.
See, that's what I do from time to time. That's right.
Yeah.
Perfect. I don't think I've met a cookie I don't like. Let's put it that way. So,
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I can't do peanut butter cookies.
really?
Yeah. I like that's on my list too.
Yeah.
Really? Oh man, I'm a peanut butter guy too. But,
I'm not. I mean, I'll eat peanut butter and jelly, and that's pretty much it for peanut butter.
Mm.
there you go. Okay,
So
that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big brownies guy too. Brownies,
Oh yeah. I love
Yeah.
brownies.
like the like soft, really soft ones, dark chocolate.
Like
Sometimes-
underbaked. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, don't even bake them all the way. Just give me the hot tray and a spoon. It's all over.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Just shovel it in. Yeah, actually, the ones I very rarely do I do the brownies from scratch because I like the Ghirardelli dark chocolate.
Okay, there you go.
Those
Very
are
good.
amazing. I usually do like 2 boxes for a 13x9 pan. You can't go wrong. They're nice
There
and
you go.
they get- yeah, fudgy. Oh, so good.
Awesome.
Yeah, she has this baking thing down. So I told her, I said, either next, we're going to the James River in a couple weeks, and I said, either you're going to bake a lot of cookies before we go, or you're going to bring your stuff down there. Because I don't know if we can go a whole week with a dozen cookies,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need some reinforcements there.
Oh, 100%. And, I just want to let people know that you're also a veteran.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
thank you for your service.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I served in the Connecticut Army National Guard. I did 6 years there. I was in 143rd Military Police Company, and that was pretty much it. It was good. It was good and fun to do when I did it, but it wasn't a career for me.
Hey, at least it's definitely a life experience for sure. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I haven't gone in. So.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was a dream for me to join the service as a kid. So when I got to do it, yeah, and then you get to 18 and you go do it. It's a real eye opener. But it was a good time. Like it was. You make a lot of good lifelong friends, and you get to help some people out, and it's a good time. So
Yeah. Yeah, because John is also a veteran. I'm sure you already know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
told
if anyone else out there does. Yeah. And my twin sister is also a veteran. She was in the Air Force. So
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
There's 2 of these I
there's
deal with.
2 of me.
No kidding. That's awesome.
No, it isn't.
Sounds like
No, that's
Yeah,
all right.
we're definitely double trouble when we get together. I mean, it gets bad in a fun way, though. I mean,
Yes.
we just razz each other.
So they go driving around beating down mailboxes
Oh, stop.
and tackling snowmen. Oh wait, that was me when I was younger.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was you.
That's funny.
You're bad.
That's funny.
But no, let's get back to a little bit of fishing if you don't mind. So do you have any baits that you want to show and talk about?
Yeah, I'll show you guys. Let's see, John, take your pick. Actually,
Let's go with the spinnerbait.
all right. So, John, well, here we go. I'm gonna hold this up because this one's for you, buddy. So I don't know how well you guys can see that, but this right here, this is just a hidden weight spinnerbait, one of the ones that we sell. It's a 1/2 ounce. It's a chartreuse lime skirt. It's got a clear silver pepper color mixed in there as well. And it's a double Indiana configuration. And to top it all off, it's on an 040 wire, so it's on a heavier wire. And what that does with the double Indiana is it keeps the wire a little bit, it's stiffer wire, so the blades are going to spin faster and kind of chime real quick.
Oh, okay.
And you get less pulsation and more vibration. It's got a really fast kind of vibration to it. It goes through the water really nice. I actually made this one for John. I went out and caught a bunch of fish on it, so I'm going to have to make you some new ones, buddy.
Well, I wasn't expecting you to show that one, but
well, this is going to be on our website here soon. It's a really nice color. I know it's kind of hard to see in my camera, but it's got a gold number 3 Indiana in the front and a nickel number 4 Indiana in the rear. It's a really good spinnerbait. So this is one of those ones you could fish warm water or cold water with. And the size of the blades, the shape of the bait, and the stiffness of the wire allow this. You can really fish this down deep if you want to, which is a bonus.
Yes.
Wow.
All right. Now, for those that don't know, can you explain what the Indiana blade is?
So an Indiana blade is just a variation of what a Colorado would be. So it's basically just a rounded off blade, but it's tapered a little bit more. It's not more like a Colorado blade's like a straight, almost like a perfect circle, where an Indiana blade is more of a teardrop. And that gives you an entirely different vibration in the water because of the shape. Instead of a wider spinning motion or a thump, this is a little bit more narrow, so it'll be a little faster rotation, and it'll vibrate quicker. So it's just a different thing. The two Indianas put together, it's a really unique feel under the water. It's a really unique vibration, and I like it a lot. The fish definitely liked it last night, so that was a big bonus.
Nice. So for those guys down at the James River, I may have some with me. If you want them, they're $45 each.
Jeez.
No, I'm only joking.
That's
joking. Funny. But no, they're nice. And one of the things I like about
we do have a question.
Okay.
On Facebook, I don't know. Some of the comments must not be coming up here.
Okay.
So I apologize for that. I have David. It says, "What's Steve's go-to lure?" So.
Ooh. What's my go-to lure? That's a tough draw. It would either be a jig or a jig. Let's just go with a jig. You catch fish any time of the year, anywhere on a jig.
Yeah. Any specific color?
Yeah, green, pumpkin, and brown. Everywhere, somewhere, something eats something. Green, pumpkin, and brown. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I was told when I first started fishing, there's 3 color jigs.
Yep.
Black head, black skirt, black head, and black and black.
That's funny. That's great. There you go.
I've caught a lot of fish on a straight black jig, and I love them. I mean, I throw jigs all over.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that color.
Jeremy May says, when do you prefer a trailer or when not to use one? I think he's talking about for a spinnerbait.
All right, so with the spinnerbait, it's actually rare that I use a trailer hook. Reason being, I'm usually fishing it around a lot of cover, and I don't like getting hung up with them. It's definitely a necessary evil, though, because if you find that the fish are eating your bait funny and you're not getting a good hookup percentage, or maybe they're falling off at the boat, or you're getting bit and you're just not connecting with the fish, then I typically will stack a 1/0, the smallest size spinnerbait trailer hook on. I can go with from there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Do you ever use like a plastic trailer on the back, like a swim bait or anything?
Oh yeah, I use actually a 3-inch Grub is my favorite go-to trailer.
Okay. Nice. 3-inch Grub, you said?
Yeah, 3-inch XPS Grub is my number one I think it's a 2 or a 3-inch. 3-inch, I think it is. Grub is a #1 trailer for a spinnerbait for me, hands down. I might have misinterpreted what you're saying. I don't know if he meant trailer hook or trailer.
Yeah, he meant plastic trailer.
Plastic trailer. All right. So I apologize for giving you the runaround on the hook. But yeah, the plastic trailer would be a grub. Yeah. And, grub or a swim bait. But, I'm a big fan of a grub. And, for me, I honestly believe it could be superstition, but I honestly believe I catch more fish on a spinnerbait because I put a grub on the end of it.
Okay. Now, do you switch them up as the weather gets warmer or colder? Do you prefer a swim bait in the fall time or winter time?
So most guys would, and believe it or not, I never change from a grub. It doesn't matter if the water's 40 degrees or 90 degrees. I always use a grub on the back. Okay. I catch them all year round like that with that same trailer, and I've rarely deviated from it. It's just a confidence thing for me. It's probably a little ignorant because if I did change trailers from time to time, I'd maybe catch more, but I've had so much success with a grub trailer that I never change from it. I'll change the blade size and shape before I ever change the plastic trailer.
Okay. Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Don't fix it if it isn't broke,
Right.
Exactly.
I used to use the old Uncle Josh pork during the winter.
That's awesome.
Spinnerbaits when I was slow rolling in the, when the water's like 42 degrees, 43.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's you're one of the few people I've heard that actually say they use the Uncle Josh pork on the spinnerbait in the wintertime. That's awesome.
Yeah, the plastic kind of I'll say freezes up. It doesn't move as much as the pork does.
Right. And so, all right, if you're interested, a little trick: if you throw a grub on the back of your spinnerbait. Well, you always put the grub on so that the curl part of the tail is facing down. It'll spin better, right? But if you find where that crease is in the tail that it turns, you take a pair of scissors and you cut a little notch in there. Not a big notch so that the tail of the grub gets ripped off. You cut a little triangle-shaped notch in there, and depending on where you cut those notches in the tail, this tail will spin a lot faster or slower. So that's a little trick if you fish a grub. That's why I never veer from a grub,
So cut it like a vertebrae?
Yeah, exactly. You just cut a little notch in the curl or the first round of that tail, and it'll change the action of the grub itself.
Okay. Another question here. Ever use a straight grub or Kitech without skirts?
I actually have not. I've always used my bait. I've always kept it skirted. I've never messed around without the skirt. And that's something I've seen guys do. I know some other companies even sell spinner baits like that with a soft plastic something on there. I've never messed with it, to be honest with you. I've always liked having the pulsation of the skirt material in the water and the profile. But it's not to say that it doesn't work. Maybe that's something I ought to mess around with,
Yeah. I remember, what was it? Last year or the year before, we were at the Potomac River, and the grocery stores had some spinner baits with swim baits, not Kitechs, but they had swim baits on them.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, that's kind of weird for a grocery store, but hey.
I fished a couple of years ago. I went down and I fished Toledo Bend in Sam Rayburn Reservoir down in Texas, and down there in the spring, a lot of guys throw spinner baits with no skirts on them and a big swim bait on it.
Okay.
So yeah, that is a popular technique too in a lot of places. It's just something I haven't messed with too much myself.
And Bob has a question. Have you ever double skirted spinner baits?
For my own personal use, yes.
So what can you explain what that does?
So it gives your skirt a little bit more. It kind of bulks up to your skirt. It gives you a lot of guys do it so that you have 2 layers of silicone. So like say your initial skirt layer up here is a regular silicone material, and then guys will sometimes use like a fine cut silicone skirt, and they'll pop this in behind there. So you have two different actions of the skirt material in the water, and it gives the bait a different silhouette and kind of gives it some bulk. And some guys like to do that to have the silicone run long off the spinner bait and it gives it just a little, another different profile and action in the water. So I've done that from time to time for myself, and it's actually, it's pretty popular. A lot of guys do it. You'll see from time to time, you'll see like a lot of the pros do that on their own stuff. But yeah, that's something I've done from time to time. Honestly, it's never made that big of a difference for me in catching fish. Like I never was like, wow, I have to do this every time, but it does work. It does catch them for sure.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something you're thinking you might offer on your website?
If you want, that's a tough one because not a lot of people do it, believe it or not. So I can put it on there. I might not sell a lot. My biggest suggestion, though, if people want it double skirted, just call the number on the website, and I'll be happy to help to do it for you personally and send them to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know if everybody can see, but we do have his website. It's martinscustombaits.com. That's on the scroll down below. So, have any questions about any of his baits? Shoot him a message. There's phone number on there. You can just text him if you have to. So, I do that quite a lot. So.
Yes, my inbox with John Stottinger is full.
So can I ask a question? And you don't have to answer this because I don't know if it's top secret or whatever. What's your favorite color combo on those? Like I have my favorites, but just because they're pretty. But
my favorite color combination in the entire world, hands down, it's on our website. It's that Toad's Moneymaker color. That's the best. And if you're talking, that's spinnerbait color you're talking, right?
Yes.
Yeah, whatever one you want. Yeah.
That one on my website's my favorite color. That's like the best.
Moneymaker, is that what you said?
Toad.
Toad's Moneymaker. It's named after my buddy Todd. His nickname is Toad, and that's a color he helped out with, or he actually started doing that color a long time ago, and I've caught more fish on that color than anything under the sun. Like hands. Yep, for sure.
Do you have that one?
No.
Why don't you have that one? See, now
that's the only one. That's the only color he didn't put in his order.
Yeah, that's probably it. You're probably right.
It is, I think.
Steve's like, stop ordering more stuff, Constance.
I'll throw one in for you with the next ones. Don't worry.
Don't throw one in.
I'll give you one.
I'll get a couple good fish on it, and I'll lose it, and I'll be cursing you.
Yeah, that's true. Because then you'll call me and you'll say you need a half a dozen or so.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
I have enough power to search it.
Oh,
my phone's gonna die. Oh yeah, I gotta check. I want to know what the color is now. I gotta check it out.
So
I'm in the know.
Bob did a follow up with his question as far as the double skirt. He goes, try a double skirt 3/4 ounce with a large willow blade number 7 or 8 on it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's.
Here, can you hit that? Okay. All right. So, what about we've talked about spinnerbaits a little bit. What about your jigs? Let's do your flipping jigs.
All right. So the finesse jigs here.
Yes.
This right here. Oh, camera's right there. All right. So this is what we have on our website. It's called our multi-purpose finesse jig. Reason being, I called it that. I mean, this is like the one jig I literally do it all with. Like I'll flip laydowns with it, sparse vegetation, vertical poles, docks. I'll cast it, hop it, I'll drag it on the bottom. I mean, you could literally do anything with this. So it's basically it's a finesse style jig. So it's a smaller profile. It's a small fiber guard too, if you can see that. Right? It's only got 6 strands of fiber, but it's enough to where you're going to block whatever you're coming in contact with away from the hook, and it keeps the whole profile of the bait more slender. Like around where I've, a lot of the areas I fish, I always find that on, a smaller to medium sized craw presentation works well. So that's why we designed the jig this way. And I'm a big fan of having a one jig that does it all kind of thing. And this is one of those. I'm really happy with the head shape. And and the hook, and it's got a little, if you can't see it right there, it's got there's a small wire keeper right on the bottom for your plastic trailer also. It's a fine wire hook. It's a VMC 7321. It's a 60-degree hook with a vertical line tie. Oh, if you can see that, there it is. So the way the jig sets up, it's really nice. It comes through cover well. It's awesome if you're fishing rocks too, believe it or not. I've had more success not getting this hung up in rock piles than I have football jigs. So it's a good one all around.
Okay.
So I just found the Toad's Moneymaker. That is sharp looking.
That's a real good color. Like that color straight up catches them. Doesn't matter what part of the United States you're in.
That's amazing. And I was just going on your website. I'm like, he's got an app? Like, how amazing.
Yeah.
So, guys got to download the app now. Do you have the app on your phone?
No, I have his phone number.
Why not? Oh, okay, well, that's probably faster than the app.
Yeah, speed dial, yeah.
Yeah. But,
They're like, what do you want for Father's Day? Just text Steve.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Rob has a question.
Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
What's your favorite trailer for a finesse jig?
Ooh, all right. So you guys want to know like my personal favorite trailer for a finesse jig, or for this finesse jig in particular?
Yes, sir.
The I'm sorry. I just lost it. The NetBait tiny packet chunk, the tiny one, the smallest one you can get. And I don't hook it on like a regular chunk. I actually thread it down to the keeper on this jig, and it sits awesome in the water on this. It actually, because of the way this jig's designed, that flat spot there will sit your craw up in a defensive style position. It looks really good in the water, and I've always liked the action of that trailer paired up with this.
Nice.
Cool.
I had a question for you. I forgot what it was. Do you trim your skirts?
Yeah, I trim them. I mean, typically, like, I trim my skirts on most of everything I throw. If we're talking the finesse jig skirts, they typically, like, when I trim them, they'll come a little bit longer than hook length here.
Okay.
Reason being, it's not a very large hook that's on these because it's a small profile. But I like to trim them so that they usually I don't like to stick past the claws on my plastic trailer. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't think I ordered any of those.
Yeah, you did. I was going to say, I think I made 18 of them for you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, good. I was going to say, they better not have gotten lost in the mail.
Oh, gosh.
My box came all mangled. I had one spinnerbait and a buzzbait. That's it.
Oh, stop.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Oh, God.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, Rob says, outstanding. Thanks for the great info on that.
Two thumbs up.
Yeah. So, what would you like to talk about next? What bait? Do you want to go with a buzzbait or?
Jeremy wants to talk about cookies.
Yeah, I second that. Cookies is always up there on the favorites list. Yeah, we could talk buzzbait. This is my basically tied for first, if not second, all-time bait to throw in the world. So this is our buzzbait I designed here. All right. So I'll give you, if you guys have a second, I'll give you a breakdown of this and how it all works. Basically, what we did is we took our head design. It's the same design head that we used on our prototype for our new spinnerbait that's coming out and on our swim jig. And we incorporated that with if you can see that, it's a hidden weight. It's our style hidden weight that we shaped for this buzzbait. And then we took a different size buzz wire. It's a heavy gauge wire. It's 051, so it's really stiff. It's good. And we shortened up the length of the wire on top here where the blade is.
Sure.
And the whole idea behind designing this buzzbait is like my biggest pet peeves with buzzbaits is when you go to cast one and it just tumbles through the air, kind of, head over hook.
Okay.
Yep.
And the other thing, another huge pet peeve of mine, was when you basically, when it hits the water, you go to reel it up, and you get 2 to 4 feet of your buzzbait swimming underwater before it comes up. So the way we designed this one solves both of those issues. It casts like a bullet, which is awesome, and it gets up on plane. I mean, like first or second crank of the handle, and that blade's up on top of the water spinning already. So that's that. And what was the other thing? So it features a 4.0. It's a 4.0 Mustad Ultra Point hook on these. It's a real strong, sharp hook. We only make them in 3/8 ounce. It basically 3/8 was like the happy medium when it came to designing this. Like that performed the best with the combination of wire and blade and skirt material that we found. So I throw a buzzbait a ton. I know a lot of my friends do. A lot of our pro staff does, and this is something I'm super proud of. It came out perfect the way we had hoped, and it performs really nicely.
Did it take a lot of trial and error to figure out how to?
Yeah, this has been in the works. This has been in the works for quite some time, and a good friend of mine, and another one of our pro staffers. I think he's actually on right now, Tony Vaccaro.
Yes.
He was a big help with getting all the, getting everything tweaked and worked out with this with me. He helped throw it a lot. He's another big buzzbait guy, and basically, I got the last prototype done and gave him one. He went out. I think he took one cast with it, and he called me immediately, and he was like, "Steve, he's like, you nailed it. This is awesome." And then we went on from there. So
excellent.
yeah, it's a good bait, a good design. I'm really happy with it.
Nice.
Yeah, Tony commented that it was best buzzbait around.
Yeah. Thank you. So I hope the ones I sent you treat you good, John.
I hope so. I didn't get enough of them, apparently. No, I mean, I love them. I opened them and I looked at them and I was in awe because I'm not a big topwater guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear you. No,
I'm in smallmouth heaven up here. Last couple of years, I have not had very much success on topwater.
Right.
So I usually start going bottom up.
Right. Sure.
But,
yeah, hey, it's a good bait to try and give it a whirl if you find you like it. If it catches you some fish, great. If not, you know the routine. You stick with your strengths and you go from there. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So are you showing what you got or no?
I can.
Oh, I don't know what. I don't know the rules.
There is no rules. Rule number 1. There is no rules.
It's like Fight Club.
Yeah.
Don't talk about.
Anyways, one of the things I like, and I preach this all the time about custom bait makers, is they'll pretty much do whatever you want. So one of the things that I did.
So cute, I love her.
I sent Steve probably 5 or 6 to 10 text messages saying, "Hey, my buddy used to make me a spinnerbait that worked. Yeah, it used to work great on Oneida Lake. Oh, darn it!" And it was a pumpkin with a white skirt. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I took a picture of it and sent it to him, and then he a couple days later he sends another one back that says, comes back and says, "How's this look?" And I looked at it and I'm like, it looks the same. Same exact bait.
Nice.
Another one I had him do, which is a little trickier. Years ago, I can't remember who the company was. They made a spinnerbait with 3 blades, 2 Indianas, or 2 willows up in the back, and medium-sized willow in the front. And in the fall time on Oneida, I had most of the time when I threw this, I'd have a limit in like 10 casts. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's one thing that nobody's doing up there anymore is throwing a lot of spinnerbaits. So I'm hoping that this time, this year, they come back around because I bought a couple spinnerbaits.
A couple.
Yeah. Now,
Just a couple.
since you gave up a couple of your secrets, I'm going to give up my big one for a spinnerbait.
No, don't do it.
When I fish a spinnerbait and put a trailer hook on it, I alternate them. Like the main spinnerbait trailer hook goes up, I put the next one going down because they're going to come up from the bottom to hit it, and when they do, it may just stick them. So
this is my favorite.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah. So what else do you make?
All right. So I also we have our own lineup of swim jigs. That's also on our website. We designed our swim jigs basically to have a small, and I shouldn't say a smaller profile. They're not that much smaller than your standard swim jig. I don't know if you guys can see that there. So with these swim jigs, we incorporated our head shape here. We swept the angle of the weed guard back a little bit towards the hook point, and these ones, they come through vegetation really nice. Like if you fish a lot of milfoil or hydrilla or whatever with these, they're awesome. They're really good on pads too. Super sharp heavy wire VMC. It's a 72-19 hook. It's awesome. I mean, this is one of those baits where if you hook a fish, he's going to stay hooked on it. So we have swim jigs. We have the finesse jigs we talked about. We also have our mini football jigs, which are also a fine wire hook. They've got a small fiber guard in them. They've got the 100% silicone in the skirt. And then we also have underspins.
Right. Your mini football jigs, what size do you have those in?
So I have those right now are available in 3/8 and ½ ounce. They will be available. I'm hoping by Monday we'll have them ready in 1/4 ounce as well. Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, they're nice. They're just compact. They're short. It's the same. It's actually the same. It's a 3/0 73-21 VMC hook with the 60-degree vertical eye and a small fiber guard, but in a football head. And then we also for your keeper for your craw trailer, instead of the wire keeper like on the finesse jig, it's actually molded into the lead. So it's a good football jig. I like it's a good small profile jig, and the key with like the finesse jig and the football jig is that silicone skirt that we make it with. It's fine cut silicone, so it's nice and subtle in the water, looks really natural. But the biggest thing is that it's 100% silicone. So meaning when that silicone's made, there's no fibers in the mix before it's poured. So it'll stretch a lot more. You get a lot more life out of your skirt with it. And that was the big reason that we put that on our jigs, and I'm really happy with that.
Good. Well, I'm learning an awful lot.
I know, me too.
I'm learning I ought to just get his bank account number and have money allotted to him every week.
Yeah, exactly. Sign over your paycheck, buddy.
But no, I mean, I everything I've gotten from you has been top notch.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm sure the missus is behind you, making sure you're doing everything correctly. So,
I don't know where she went. Actually, she disappeared. So, I don't know.
Yeah, she hasn't whooped you yet. So you're doing a good job, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. No, she hasn't come in here and unplugged the computer yet. So I guess I'm okay.
Yeah, that's good. Now, your underspins.
Yep.
Do you have one of them to show?
I actually did not bring one out of the shop into the office. I was going to ask you before our break, and I had to try to cram dinner in before we started. I hope you got one handy. I think you got a pack of 50. There you go. That'll work.
All right. Do you want to model this?
Oh, you want me to? Sure.
Yeah, she's a lot better at showing product than I am.
Perfect.
What size? You want to talk about that a little bit?
All right, so that's the 1/2 ounce, I believe you have there, right? That's what it looks
Yes.
like?
Yes.
All right. So with that, the underspin, basically what we did is we took just the head itself, shaped from like our swim jigs or whatever, and we configured it to fit a mustad. It's a medium wire hook on there. It's a black nickel medium wire mustad hook. So we kind of made it fit that hook for the underspin. It's a 90-degree line tie on that, and we incorporated a barrel swivel into the belly underneath the head. So there's actual barrel swivel that's fixed when it's poured, and then we add to that barrel swivel, we add to that swivel a second one, which is a split ring barrel swivel, and 2 reasons. Number one, the second swivel keeps the blade a little further away underneath the bait, so it doesn't really get stuck to your swim bait or your fluke. Number 2, having those 2 barrels on there spinning, the blade is going to perform at its peak no matter how fast or how slow you're reeling that in. So it's kind of like a fail-safe having those two barrel swivels there.
So that'd be good for running towards the bottom as well.
Oh, yeah.
Slow roll it.
Yeah, you can slow roll it. I mean, you could reel it in at like a medium retrieval. You can burn it if you really want to get crazy, but I mean, an underspin's typically a slow and steady retrieve kind of bait. And we also offer them not only with the willow leaf blades on all 3 sizes. We have 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 ounce, but we also offer them with an Indiana blade on each size if you want.
That's more like the square. Does that work?
Yeah, do that. I got
it.
Justin says, I need a 1.5 ounce underspin for pike, muskie, and walleye fishing. LOL.
Oh, gosh. That's a giant underspin.
So will we accept? We'll see those on the website. What, next week? Tomorrow?
Yeah. I don't do any 1.5 ounce underspins, or else I'd be happy to help you.
No, but I'm amazed with the paint job on all the heads.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the eyes are nice.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, you're an eye person. You like eyes.
Because I have nice eyes.
That's true. Okay, you wanna?
Well, I'm just a very detail-oriented person. So.
Yeah.
You want to what?
You pulled that bag out.
Well, this is my favorite colors.
Okay.
I like this color combo. I mean, there's a lot of great ones. I'm sure I've seen more that weren't in this that you have from them or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wreck something.
No, I can't believe these are 1/2 ounce because the head is so small.
On which one? On the underspin?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
She's back to a spinnerbait.
The color.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the beauty of like having a hidden weight spinnerbait is you get to, if you're basically trying to mimic bait fish that are your medium large or medium small size, that's kind of where that's handy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've always fished this size. There's a time here and there where I'll fish a full size spinnerbait, but that size combination is where it's the ones I prefer to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm highly impressed.
Oh, thank you. Well, wait till you see
left him out so the Constance could look at him.
Yeah, while I was baking. I'm just leave him out. I'll look at him in a minute.
Wait until you get to see our new spinnerbaits that we're coming out with this year.
Yeah.
These are gonna be awesome.
Oh, I gotta dress a Barbie.
Yeah. Good for you.
You're so funny.
Yeah, I'm during the day. That's my job. Dressing Barbie.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
You need help?
You're so funny. No, at least
All right. Anyone have any more questions
I
for
don't know
him?
how I did this as a kid.
Outside of an 1.5 ounce underspin, man, I can't imagine that.
That's like something I go fluke fishing with.
Right?
That would be saltwater fluke fishing for me with something like that. That would be awesome. But for pike and muskie, yeah, that I could see why.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Can I show you? I have actually one of the samples of our new spinnerbait we're coming out with, and if you're so inclined, I'd like to show you, and then
Oh, definitely.
So here's one that's unfinished. This is just out of the mold.
Oh, thank you, Lana.
So here's our new hidden weight spinnerbait style that we're coming out with this summer. We're gonna have a bunch of different paint schemes on them. But what we did is we took our head design, we added our hidden weight, a little bit different shape to our hidden weight. We added a wire keeper in the back here that's built into the mold for your trailer, your swim bait, or your grub, or whatever you put on the back of your spinnerbait. The first color schemes we're coming out with, it's going to be called our Northern Forage series. They're going to be available in 3/8, half ounce, and 3/4 ounce. They'll also be the wire size on these. They're an 0.35 diameter wire, so they're a little bit spongy, but they're just stiff enough where you can catch a lot of fish on them without it getting twisted and mangled right away. It's also got it's a Mustad Ultra Point black nickel hook on it, and it's a really strong stout hook. It's like razor sharp, and the angle that the wire comes out of the head of our spinnerbait is a little bit different than the other ones. So they run actually really level in the water. They don't really swim head up too much. They run nice and level. They're really good. So we're going to be having those available and done and ready for purchase. I'm hoping soon. Like, we're trying very hard to get them out and ready, but it's taking a little time. So at some point this summer, we're going to have those out too.
Wow, very cool. Yeah.
Are you ready for another question?
Go for it.
Ready, go. Brad says, Steve, when would you recommend the use of a red Colorado blade? What conditions in particular?
All right, that's a red Colorado blade is one of the best. That's one of the best blades to throw on a spinnerbait from time to time, depending on when. I would use it. I mean, if you're fishing somewhere where if it's got a big bait fish population, like if you're fishing in let's say a lake that has a huge alewife population or a huge shad population in it, and they say you get an overcast kind of day, or if you have some sort of tint to that water, having a red Colorado blade, in my opinion, is key, because it gives that kind of bleeding bait fish image to it. And not only that, but with a spinnerbait, you're already mimicking the bait fish. So having that red blade kind of helps give the bass a target. And yeah, I would say anywhere you're fishing somewhere, red blade is really good on tidal rivers, and anywhere else that has a large bait fish population seems to work good. But I always liked overcast and rainy conditions for it, and the water has to be a little bit dingy. One of the two or both.
Okay. It's a great question.
Yes, definitely.
Brad, I hope that was a pretty good answer. I wouldn't use it on the St. Lawrence River at all.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the other thing too, if you fish that red Colorado blade, and this is just from me, I mean, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I always like having it in the front, never at the rear. That's just a little tip from experience that I've always found. I've always gotten bit with having the red Colorado up in the front versus at the rear. For some reason, always made a difference for me.
Okay, so the end of the blade wire is what you call the rear?
Yeah, the end of the wire. Exactly. The front would be towards the line tie. The rear would be, where the swivel is for the last blade.
Okay.
I hope there's not a quiz later, but I am learning a lot.
Yeah, if there is a quiz later, I'll let her take mine.
Okay.
She was a little better in school than I was.
Oh, that. I actually passed.
I did too.
I know.
But yeah, I know. No. So I think we've talked. Is there anything else you want to cover?
Oh gosh, I could talk fishing all day and all night, so that's up to you, buddy. I think we covered most of the products and everything. Like I said, we've got a lot of new stuff coming out still. It's just we're kind of slowly getting to where we need to be. So we'll have some new colors available soon on our website. Every time we release something new, I always try to make sure I put it up on Facebook and Instagram so you guys get to see it first. We'll have those new spinnerbaits coming out. We'll have another color buzzbait coming out this year as well. Possibly another jig color. And that's pretty much going to be that. But yeah, we'll have some new exciting stuff still coming down the pipe this summer.
Okay. Excellent. We have a comment. Rob says, red Colorado blade, great in the mud line, close to the bank as well.
Good point. I like it. Nice. All right. There you go. Oh, so, you put shh on there. I guess we can't tell anybody.
So, I will see this.
Yeah. So my question is, how come I wasn't given any red Colorado blades?
You didn't ask for any.
Oh, there you
go. Rob has a good point, though. I mean, if you're fishing somewhere with muddy water like that, yeah, that's something I would definitely mess around with. I mean, where I fish most of the time, we don't get it. It doesn't get too muddy over here, but yeah, that is a good muddy bank kind of scenario. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Okay. Now it's and honestly, it's not that hard to change on the fly.
No, you could always change your blade on if you have a pair of round bend pliers or a pair of really small needle nose. You could bend out everything and swap it out on the boat. I always have a box full of spinnerbait parts on me if I ever need to swap something out, and it's really simple to do. Anybody can do it. You just got to make sure you put everything back together in the right order so it works.
Justin says, put me down for a demo dozen of the new style spinnerbait variety set.
All right, Justin, thank you. Yeah, these I can't wait to get these out to everybody and show them. Like, that's another design that we spent a lot of time on, and not only, like I said, I'm a big fan of the shape of the bait and the profile. Reason being, it's called Northern Forage is because it's more of that medium size. And our first color scheme is actually going to be an IU kind of paint job on this. So we're going to be trying to match something that could be mixed in as like a bluegill, a perch, a smelt, or something like that. That's what we're going to be shooting for on this. That'll be the first color scheme. Then we're actually going to have another shiner color that'll be a little bit brighter and a little bit of silver and white to it. But that hidden weight, especially if you like, honestly, I know your big size spinnerbaits work really well, but if you were to put me on a body of water anywhere in the eastern United States, from Maine to Florida, well, maybe not Florida, but from Maine to almost Florida, like that hidden weight size will catch them all the time. It's a good profile. It doesn't scare them off too much. It's been really successful for me over the years, and that's why I wanted to expand on it and make more. So.
All right, excellent.
Susie said smelt. It reminds me of going smelting with my dad at like god awful hours of the morning or night. Yeah. I remember going out there with him.
And buckets. Justin also says, "Looks sexy, all about hidden weight with keeper."
Yeah, that's really that's quite cool.
Yeah,
brilliant idea.
It is.
So when you say we, who exactly is on your team?
Well, I mean, I have a phenomenal pro staff of guys that help me out, and obviously my wife, she's a huge help with me. She's kind of helps make sure everything stays organized. I get everybody's orders out, and she gives me, she gives me some encouragement and keeps me in line. So definitely, and it's good to have a lot of friends that fish a lot, that do a lot of tournaments, and that throw a lot of these style baits because I can give out samples and I get a lot of feedback, and sometimes somebody might see something in a bait that I missed that I've made, and I try to find that happy medium. So the biggest principle of me doing this business was I really wanted to give guys a quality product. Like, you'll never get a product from me that you open the package and it's falling apart and your skirt looks like garbage or anything like that. Like, that was my biggest pet peeve with buying lures from any other company. is like, we're not here to mass produce overseas and sell in the United States. We 100% manufacture in the U.S. The chances, if you buy something from us, chances are I actually built the entire thing soup to nuts myself and packaged it for you, depending on who we had for help. So quality control on your bait was really big for me, and that's another huge factor of why I got into this business, and I hope to keep it that way. I'd like to be able to make sure I have my hands on everything that goes out the door by us, because I can make sure somebody's going to get what they really should be spending their money on.
Very cool. Yeah.
And that prototype bait he just designed, he took it out last night, and he wasn't out that long, and he did a really good job catching fish on that spinnerbait.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get my hands on a half a dozen or so.
Yeah, that sample, instead of me mailing you that sample, I'm definitely going to have to just make you another one, because I beat the heck out of it yesterday.
Hey,
that's a good
sometimes
thing.
they're the best baits, you know?
Absolutely. You got that right.
Topwater, the old cedar plugs or balsa plugs with the teeth marks in them and half the paint's gone. They still work.
I know. If you ever seen some of the collectible antique lures, it's amazing what people would catch fish on, you know?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
It is. And just the amount of time it took for somebody to make those things, it's pretty impressive.
Oh, absolutely.
It is. So.
Well, it's still impressive that you can do that. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a couple of things that impressed me the most is you design your baits. Like I said earlier, you don't just contact some company and say, send me a blade, send me this, send me that. You actually pencil to paper, figured it out. And
I mean, I have a folder next to me in the office here full of sketches that were where all this stuff started. And and that's, I really wanted my own signature designs on stuff that, we designed everything, the underspins, the buzzbaits, the finesse jigs, all that stuff. So I'm really proud of it. We're making some headway, and we're finally able to get a lot of our product out now, and things are, getting, slowly but surely moving forward. So
nice.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah. You want to say that again?
I was just saying it'd be kind of cool if you matted and framed those sketches. And
I might have to do that. Hang them up in the workshop. That would actually kind of be cool. Over each category, I've got it hung up there where it started.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about that.
I can actually hang up the evolution of the bait. I could have the sketch, and prototype 1 through 1,000, and then the final product.
Yeah, exactly.
You might have to get a bigger shop, though.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to happen maybe one of these days.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. So thank you guys, and thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it.
Yes, I appreciate. I can't say enough good things about the baits that I've received from you.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I want to thank Russell Phillips. He's the one who got me in touch with you.
Yeah.
Because I asked him, I go, do you know anyone that makes spinnerbaits? And he's like, yeah, I have a friend. I'm like, oh, he has a friend. I was kind of shocked when he said that. It was actually the truth.
Is he on here right now? Because he's probably dying laughing.
I think so. I tagged him, but I have got no response. So.
He's gonna hear it from you now. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
he's on the no. Yeah, he's on the no cookie list now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I probably shouldn't have told him we were going live at 9.
Oh, stop! You told him 7.
Yeah, I told him 7.
No, he's a good guy. Him and I are fishing a tournament together on Sunday, so I hope it'll be fun. Good laughs, and we'll see what we can see what we could put our buzzbaits and spinnerbaits through on Sunday and see what happens.
And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this earlier, but you had a tournament. What was it? Last weekend or the weekend before?
Last weekend.
Okay. And how did that go?
It was good. It was really tough. Fishing was really tough. We had some cold fronts come through, so it kind of knocked back a lot of the pre-spawn activity that was happening on that lake. There was a couple major, huge tournaments before ours, so the pressure was, obviously a factor. But I did well. I was able to put together a decent bag. I caught them all on, every fish I caught was on that exact color jig right there with that same craw trailer we talked about. I actually threw that same jig in 1/4 ounce. I threw it actually on a spinning rod with an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader and 12-pound braid. Just because of the rate of fall, it was nice and slow on it. We were fishing fairly shallow, and we were fishing. I was fishing for finicky fish, so I was able to make them bite that. And my big fish for the day was just shy of 5 pounds, smallmouth, so that was nice. And I actually won the co-angler side on that Sunday, so that was cool.
Very
It was
awesome.
it was exciting. I hadn't that particular trail I hadn't fished in a long time, and I just kind of jumped in last minute with some, and it's a good group of people, and I was glad to be able to do it.
Yeah, good.
That's
All
awesome.
right. Well, anyone else have any other questions for Steven about his baits or his business or anything
Or
else
life.
coming down the pipeline or?
Or life in general.
Yeah,
For complex questions.
sure.
So Rob Welsh says he's gonna put in an order. So
Oh, well, thank you very much, Rob. I appreciate that.
All right. So with that being said, I'm not seeing any more questions coming up. So I just want to thank you very much, sir, for allowing me to be on your pro staff.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for everything. Seriously, you and Constance have been so helpful, and just overwhelmingly helpful with everything. And thank you. So
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
I'm always in awe when he gets something from you. I'm like, I gotta check it out, and it's just the. I mean, obviously, I don't know a lot of what I'm looking at, but it always looks great, and it's
No, thank you.
Like you're saying, it doesn't come looking all scraggly or anything like that. It always looks so nice, and the colors are phenomenal, and everything looks top notch for sure.
Well, thank you very much. Seriously, I really appreciate that, and thank you for having me on tonight. This was awesome. It was a lot of fun. So
thanks. And I forgot to mention she can't see.
Stop it! I'm colorblind right now. Jeez. Gosh.
Oh
All
god.
right.
No, I guess you're not getting any desserts then. It doesn't sound like.
Yeah. Him and Russell are on the no cookie list. That's it.
Oh, that's funny.
Done.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again for coming on. I appreciate everything you've done for us.
Anytime, man.
And I really appreciate you bringing back some of the baits for me that I haven't been able to buy for the last 15 years, just by text messages and pictures. So
yeah, of
thank
course.
you very much.
Yeah, anytime I can help you out, or anybody watching. I mean, if it's not something that's a standard item on our website, if you guys need a color tweaked or something, reach out. If it's something we can do, we'll do it for you. So thank you.
And he doesn't just make it and send it to you. He makes it, takes a picture of it, sends the picture to you, so you're getting exactly what you want. And if you don't like it, you could say no, that's not the one.
Right.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, I just want to close this out like I always do. If you get a chance to go fishing and you're going to be by yourself, always try to take a kid with you. They are the future, not just the fishing, but they are the future. Get them involved, get them outdoors instead of sitting behind your computers like we're doing right now. Also, while you're out there fishing, be safe. Wear your sunglasses. I don't know how many times, you go to set the hook or you try to get a snag out or something and you rip the bait out and it comes flying back at you, Mach 5. You definitely don't want that to hit you in the eye.
I didn't even think of that until you just said that.
And
no, thank you.
And also your life vest. Always wear your life vest. It's a simple thing you can do that will prevent a bad day going worse.
Yeah.
All right.
And sunscreen.
Sunscreen. All right. So everybody, thank you very much. Have a great night. And if you're out there fishing on the water, be safe and take it easy.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.